Now tell me, you know Lady Hussey, you've known her since you were 18, and you say that if Lady Hussey is a racist, then you are
an ornamental fountain. I know. In fact, she once called me out because I wrote an article for The Spectator criticising the Italians, and she said it was unkind and slightly racist.
So she's someone who stands up against racism.
Exactly. And, for example, I mean, she was with the Queen for decades. She met every ethnic group from the Commonwealth. She has many friends who are black and coloured. She is not a racist. She has an old-school manner, and she's slightly deaf, which means that she talks slightly louder, as deaf people do, and also her kind of head girl manner is quite kind of breezy. But I saw nothing wrong with her line of questioning. Also, people completely misunderstood the reference to your people. When she said, where your people from, for that generation, it means nothing derogatory. It means where your family from.
Because this is apparently something that's asked very often at these royal events. Now, you tell me, because I don't go to these things.
Course,
people say, where are you from?
She's a courtier. She needs background because she has to go back to when it was the Queen. She had to go back to the Queen.
Or in this case, Camilla.
Or Camilla.
Queen
in this
Camilla.
case, exactly, Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, and brief her.
And say, this lady's from this charity, she's from this country.
And even because I've been to those functions, so I've been asked, because I have a Hungarian mother, I've been asked about my family, my background, where my mother actually came from. She was a refugee from Hungary during the Cold War. To me, these are normal questions.
So they want a bit of background. What about the claim from Fulani, that Lady Hussey touched her hair, and she described that as a form of abuse?
I do not believe that for a second, because I know Lady Hussey. Lady Hussey would rather die than be informal and touch somebody's hair. It took her 10 years of knowing me before she even kissed me on a cheek.
Because this is a very proper woman in terms of...
Incredibly proper. And there was no witness to this hair-touching episode. No one has come forward and confirmed it. And I do not believe it. I would stake my life on the fact that she didn't do that.
Now, you're very concerned about Lady Hussey. Now, obviously, there's been some reports over the weekend suggesting...
She's devastated. She's an 82-year-old widow. I think what Miss Fulani did... It was so hypocritical because she said she didn't want to name and shame anybody, but she posted the whole thing on Twitter with Susan Hussey's initials. You don't do that unless you want the individual. Yeah, and she's been hypocritical ever since, because even yesterday she was tweeting saying, no individual's to blame, I didn't want to hurt any individual, it's the institution. She put a widow's initials out there. And I can tell you, because I've spoken to Susan Hussey's friends, that this woman's life is ruined.
Oh, that's so...
She is broken-hearted. She won't go out. She's probably the subject of death threats, because you know how social media works now. I mean, what Miss Fulani did was so uncharitable, and she's the head of a charity, so cruel and so hypocritical.